Welcome back to Motorcycle Repair. I'm Kevin, Ash is filming. Stay tuned because here we've got a swing arm pivot bolt that's seized and we're going to show you how to remove it and a few ideas on different scenarios. Keep tuned. Obviously you're going to need to remove the rear wheel, the rear brake caliper and the chain. I'm not going to show you all that because that's pretty self-explanatory. I'm sure you can see some of that on our other videos, can't you, Ash? Whack that out of the way. So on this model you're going to have to remove the bolt on the bottom linkage from the dog bones to the swing arm. That will make your swing arm detach from your linkage and shock. Now we're going to be removing the nut off of the pivot axle. Now this is where the problem is. So basically on a lot of motocross and enduro bikes, the actual pivot will go through the frame, through the swing arm and through the engine. Now the problem is, because it's two different types of metal, so you've got steel with aluminium and then you've got stainless steel, which is the bearings, you get a chemical reaction called electrolysis, and that will cause corrosion, especially between the aluminium and the steel. I don't know if we can get in there, Ash. Move that stand down, but let me get the points out. This part here, which is probably what, 5 to 6 inches where it goes through the engine, so it's got all of that surface to corrode. Now I've seen it where we've had to cut the actual axle out, or we've stripped the whole bike down and stuck it in the press and pressed it out. I remember like years ago, must have been about 5 or 6 years ago, I had a KXF 250 come in and that was the same, swing arm bushes. That was seized and it took me, no word of a lie, 2 weeks to get it out, and that was just leaving the bike on its side and just keep soaking it with all sorts of penetrating fluids. So what you're going to need now, you're going to need a good drift, a nice mallet. This is a copper mallet and a leather end. You can use a hammer or whatever, but we're going to go a little bit gentle. Start gentle first, don't go like trying to use all you've got at it, because it might just move easy. It might have been apart, you know, not long ago. But we know this one's seized because we have tried it and it is seized. We have moved it a little bit as well, so we know this one's going to move. But bear with us, we'll take it out and then we'll go for the next steps. Right, Ash, let's get on and see if we can get this right out. What I'm going to do is stick that nut back on again if I can. Where's it gone? Because you can feel the drift moving, if you know what I mean. Ready?
Yep. Keep going. Another 20 mil of it, I guess, might help remove this inside.
And that is how you remove a swing arm bolt. Now that was seized, but we'd spent about an hour before we started filming.
That just shows you
unseizing it.
Some of that rust that gathers up in there.
So that's how you remove a stubborn swing arm bolt. Now I'm going to give you a few little tips, because otherwise, you know, it'd be pretty pointless doing the video if we didn't. So basically, when you're removing this axle, you don't want to damage the thread too much. Now it might be a bit impossible, because if it's really seized in there, you are going to damage that thread a little bit, which is not end of the world. Let's come over to the camera a minute. But you can see the axle's hollow. So really what you want to do is get a drift that fits inside that hollowness. Now you can machine something, or you know, if you've got something lying around's good. You can use the nut if you screw it right on, but watch you don't damage the thread. So that's a good tip. Use an aluminium drift. That's what I like using. Whatever tool suits the job really, without damaging it. And like I said, start off gentle. Don't go in there like all guns blazing. Let it soak for a few days. You can see where the actual penetrating fluid has penetrated this and helped it move. So basically, yeah. So if it's completely seized in, the only thing I can suggest is to put the bike on its side. If it's a 4-stroke, drain the oil out. This is a 2-stroke, so it wouldn't matter. And then over a course of a few days, just keep penetrating it, and just keep going really. You can use a bit of heat on the back of the crankcase, but obviously you're gonna have to drain all the fuel out of the carbon and tank. You know, I don't really like doing that unless I really have to. And like the last case scenario, if you can't get it out, is take off the subframe, take the tank and everything off, the forks out, find someone with a fairly decent press, and then press it out. But like I said, another scenario is actually cut the swing arm bolt out, but that's a lot of work, hell of a lot of work, and you might end up damaging the casings or the swing arm. So we're going to wrap that up right there. Keep tuned, subscribe, see you next time.